More good news. Oh my, I'm so white pilled today. It's crazy. Every news story, not everyone. People are gonna clip that out of context. There's some crazy ones in here, but these first two are really good. So Florida proceeds with ban on puberty blockers and sex reassignment surgeries for minors. Round of applause. You can't hear it because I'm trying to be polite. This is amazing news. So what's very great is that it was detransitioners who greatly helped to make this happen, not because of just speaking out, but they actually went and testified on this issue. And that's what swayed the jury, to my knowledge. Shapeshifter was there. I'm so proud of, it's all these detransitioners that come on the show and that have come on the main channel. Like, I literally have such affection for, and I'm so proud of them because they all have such a fire in their belly to create positive change, and they're doing it, Chloe, Shapeshifter, Richie, I've been lucky enough to have most of these people on my show, and to see them doing such great things, like it really does warm my heart. Yeah, it says a joint committee of Florida's 2 medical boards voted last week to draft a rule that would ban puberty blockers and other gender dysphoria treatments for minors in the state. The Florida Board of Medicine and the State Board of Osteopathic Medicine voted Friday to proceed with a plan that will bar anyone under the age of 18 from receiving sex reassignment surgery or taking hormones. It came after a nearly 5-hour-long discussion where experts and the public voiced their opinions. And, members of the public were these detrans kids. I say kids. A few of them are older than me, but for some reason, I said this when Richie was on the show, for some reason they just come across younger to me. I'm not trying to be insulting or anything, but I feel almost like a maternal instinct over them of sorts. So, this is great news. And another thing that I hope is setting precedent for the rest of the country. Obviously, I can now say, I couldn't say it in the last one, can say in this story that California is not going to follow suit, at least anytime soon. They recently became a sanctuary state for the shit. So California's doomed, but that's why I left. It's, this is a no-brainer. And it's one of those issues that I feel like I am just repeating myself all the time on, but it's because I feel like it's so necessary. I hope that more states follow suit. I hope that the state I live in, Texas, follows suit, Texas, of all places, people think it's such a, far-right state or whatever. It's like they were doing, surgeries on minors for trans reasons very recently, They instituted a ban on just the surgeries alone recently, but the hormones are a big deal too, right? Because the surgeries are obviously a big deal, but the hormones are almost the biggest deal because they sterilize you. So next we have a video, you guys. I hope the volume's up on this laptop. Let me make sure it is. So there's a video recently that's going viral of actually a doctor who's coming forward and talking about puberty blockers, stating the obvious. Let's play it.
Hi, this is Dr. Christie. I just want to give a brief public service announcement. I feel a responsibility as a physician to be honest about puberty blockers and hormonal therapy in teenagers. This can lead to infertility, and I don't know if that's really well known. That means that you would never be able to have your own children. It really is important to go through puberty at your normal sex, as your normal sex, and at your normal rate, and not arrest that process. Give your body time to complete the process before you start changing things that could have long-term implications. So I want you to be smart about it. That's what I'm here for, help you out.
So the reason why this video is going viral is because it is so rare to see a doctor being honest about puberty blockers, because it is such a politicized issue, which you don't really want medications, treatments, anything really in the medical field to be politicized. But this one obviously is. But it's going viral because it's so rare to see doctors speaking honestly about it. And I think what's really unfortunate, although I'm glad more people like her are coming forward, is that it needs to be said that puberty blockers make you infertile. To me, I don't have this amazing understanding of biology. In fact, I did not do well in biology. It's not a field where I succeeded in school. I'm not a huge science person in general. To me, though, it's kind of like saying a cat is different from a dog. Like it's 1 + 1 = 2, that if you don't go through puberty, you can't procreate, because puberty is the biological mechanism that actually gives you the material to impregnate someone or become pregnant. So the fact that this doctor is saying like it's not widely known, you know, she's right. But that's so disturbing to me that the general public has such a lack of understanding of very basic biology. Again, we're not getting in the weeds here. This is just basic shit like breathing. You breathe oxygen, you go through puberty, and then you can make babies. Like that is basic, right? But it just demonstrates how ignorant people are on this issue, you know? I'll never forget story time. Oh my God. One of the first moments of realization that like the general public doesn't really understand anything to do with like trans like medicine or biology, anything like that, is actually has to do with an ex-boyfriend. My ex-boyfriend who I had at the very beginning of my channel. Shout out to James. Never even said his name, but shout out to James. His mom actually came up to me and was like asking me while we were dating, you know, can you get pregnant? Are you able to have babies? You know, I think this is something that he's going to want very soon. And blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you genuinely don't know if I can have, I was born male. Like people genuinely think, some of them, that you can get pregnant as a trans woman. And, you know, it's mocked like, oh, people aren't that stupid. People are that fucking stupid, dude. No shade to her. She was a nice enough lady, but it's like when that happened, I was like, oh, people like don't get it like at all. So people, I think that's the biggest learning curve with this trans shit, with the medicinal aspect of it, at least in the surgeries, is that people just need to, if they're going to be advocating for things, have a basic understanding of what the fuck they're advocating for. Y'all are advocating for kids transitioning. You have no idea what it actually does, what you're actually sacrificing or what you're actually damaging here. But you'll just advocate it for anyways because you're so fucking obsessed with being tolerant and loving, and you don't understand that you're actually being fucking monsters. So there's that. Hope you enjoyed that story time. Next story, another great one. Oh my God, these are all good ones in a row. Girl, we're celebrating tonight. I need to share somebody with the iced coffee. Primark reintroduces women-only changing room after backlash over only providing gender-neutral facilities, as another woman revealed how man burst in on her while she was trying on clothes. Right. This obsession with like gender neutrality is pretty disgusting. I mean, I'm sorry. This is what I meant earlier in the podcast when I said that so much of like trans ideology is antithetical towards progress or, you know, positive things for women. It's like now women have to get changed in gender neutral changing rooms. Like it's not even like trans women are allowed in this, you know, women's changing room. It's that it's gender neutral. So men, like, what are you doing? Of course, this is in the UK, right? I'm pretty sure Primark's in the UK. Like, what? I mean, you walk through like certain stores now and like they don't even separate clothes and stuff by gender. And it's like, I'm sorry, not every woman or maybe even every man is comfortable even shopping around people of the opposite sex. They're trying things on. They're seeing how things look on their body, seeing if it's flattering. Maybe they don't want to be seen by the opposite sex if they're wearing something that's not so flattering, or if they're not wearing anything at all, or accidentally like showing something. Like, who does the gender neutral thing help? It doesn't help trans people because I've never had a fucking issue in a changing room. Are you demented? However, it's like, what is wrong with y'all? I don't understand. Here's another gender neutral story with worse implications. Air Force Academy cadets instructed to use gender inclusive language, report says. The United States Air Force Academy is instructing cadets to use gender inclusive terms and in some cases refraining from saying words like mom and dad. So you can't say mom and dad in the Air Force. And this is the military that's supposed to protect us right now with all this WW3 discourse going on. Like, these are who we're relying on. People who are too sensitive about hearing the word mom and dad. And again, who's it supposed to help? Is it supposed to help trans people? And if so, I need you to explain to me how. I genuinely would like to know how this helps trans people in the Air Force by not saying mom and dad. Would you not still want to be a mom or a dad if you are trans? Oh, you know what? I just figured it out. I'm stupid. It's literally for just non-binary shit. Because non-binary people, while claiming to be trans, constantly support things that actually hurt trans or are antithetical towards trans people, actual transsexuals. And non-binary people get hoisted to the top of the fucking megaphone in the trans community, despite being completely different in almost every fathomable way, despite being non-binary when trans is a binary thing. Right. This has to just be for non-binary shit. One of the slides in the instruction discusses inclusive language, telling cadets to nix terms like mom and dad, boyfriend, girlfriend, you guys. This is what I mean by South Park and like living in a meme. It's like, I could see a sketch about an overly sensitive trans person walking around saying, what do you mean when someone says, hey guys, or you guys? Like, that's like a joke someone would write because it's just so ridiculous, but it's not so ridiculous because it's reality. It's like parody and reality at this point are like Tia and Tamara. It's like, which one is which, bitch? You know, it's not Tia and Tamara. It's like those conjoined twins, the blonde ones. I'll put a picture on the screen. It's like those girls. It's like they're one and the same at this point. They are the same. Hey, if you guys enjoyed that short clip from the podcast, make sure you guys subscribe to this channel as well as my main channel and watch the full episode, which will be somewhere on the screen.